Oh, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show. You can watch the show on YouTube. Search Out of Bounds Sports. Our guests join us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. We welcome in Steve Robertson, genespage.com, 247 Sports, and the Boneyard Podcast. This is 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Devastating loss for Mississippi State on Saturday night, but they played some really good football, and they've showed some much-needed improvement. Steve, where do you want to start as far as your takeaway from the game? Was it Mississippi State's ability to run the ball down Tennessee's throat?
Yeah, that was a great development. We talked last week. I was expecting to have more of a, passing attack in some respects. But, we knew that Tennessee defensive front, we knew they could get after the quarterback. They had 15 sacks coming into the game. They ended up getting 5 more against Mississippi State. But State's ability to run the football and take advantage of some lighter box was certainly an encouragement, because you're not going to see a lot of fronts as talented as that one. You're going to see some that are similar. But that's a really good Tennessee front. And I think, considering that State had to play some musical chairs at times on the offensive line, it shows that they're making some progress.
All right. Do we want to continue to go through the good?
Always.
Okay. All right. So, because I could have not gone negative, but started to say what didn't happen. As far as holding up in the line of scrimmage, even though Tennessee was better, I thought Mississippi State held their own. How surprised were you that they did so on both sides of the ball, Steve?
Yeah. Still, there's a talent deficiency there, right? And Tennessee's a very talented team. They went to the playoff last year. They returned a lot of pieces from that team. But I think it goes to show you what Jeff Labby and their staff has done to upgrade the talent level to make those games more competitive. And that's a game that Mississippi State fans feel like they should have won. I kind of wrote about that last year. I mean, we make that trip to Knoxville, just kind of hoping lightning strikes, right? I mean, we didn't expect to win that game. That was kind of how things worked after Blake Shapen got injured. I mean, we just said, this is going to be a season we have to endure. But I think you walk away from this one feeling like, we're going to win some more games this year, because the quality of this program, the quality of this team has been enhanced.
Steve Robertson on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. All right. They gifted the 2 touchdowns, as you know, and you can't do that to a team like Tennessee. Blake has played well, but also struggled some. I feel like he's holding on to the ball a little too long at times. What do you see?
No, I think that's fair. And, the scoop and score, I mean, that one's not on Blake. There's some other ones that he'll tell you were on him, but that one was just a complete ambush. I mean, Jimothy Lewis gets beat on the left side, and Blake gets hit from the blind side. And I'll be honest with you, when he first went down, I thought he was out. I mean, it was a big, big hit. And, of course, that ultimately proves to be the difference in the ballgame. I mean, when you give somebody 2 touchdowns, it's difficult to win in this league, as Mississippi State illustrated. But there you were at the end of the game with the ball and a chance to win the game, much like you did against Arizona State, or at least put yourselves in position for a game-winning field goal. And I feel like that's the burr under the Bulldog saddle today, is like, we overcame all these other issues and put ourselves in a position to have the ball last and win the game, and then just didn't execute. And I've seen a lot of people talking about, play calling. One thing I want to go back, and if you go back and look at that first down play, and State had some success with Fluff just kind of running the football right at Tennessee, it's a pretty heavy box. And so what you want to do is throw the football, right? And the play was there, Blake just missed. And that's the thing, people equate that to play calling, not even knowing what play was called, and understanding that Blake, as the quarterback, has license to go up there and change the play based on the look of the defense. And so, yeah, you probably should throw the football there because you've got a heavier box. Tennessee is well aware that Fluff Bothwell has had success, and we didn't execute the play. That's as simple as you can say. The play was there to be made, and State didn't make the play. And I'm not in any way trying to diminish the effort, but, you hired Jeff Lebby to go win games like this, when he nearly did.
Steve Robertson, genespage.com on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Okay, what about injuries? Do you expect Brendan Thompson to play this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. I was told yesterday that his situation wasn't severe. I mean, obviously it kept him out of the ball game, but yeah, they're expecting him to be back. It's just going to be how he responds to treatment. But not having him, I think, was significant late too. And to take nothing away from the other guys out there. I mean, Aiden Williams made some plays, and Jordan Mosley made some plays. And again, that goes back to the depth that you built in the portal. But Brendan Thompson, arguably the fastest guy in college football, you could have had an opportunity to go max protect and just take a shot down the field, just like you did against Arizona State, and perhaps he runs under it. So, yeah, not having him was not significant, but not having him was significant. But I do expect him to play this weekend against Texas A&M.
Okay. Albert Reese, what's the latest?
Yeah, I don't expect him to play this week, but I don't think it's going to be something that keeps him out for a long time. The first report I got yesterday was that, yeah, if things go well and he responds to treatment, he should be back this week. And then later in the afternoon, I was told, now he's going to be a surprise if he plays this week. Probably a good chance he doesn't even practice. And I don't know that State scored after he left the ball game, and that's especially your best run blocking lineman is Albert Reese, and so. That is a significant development, but I will be extremely surprised if he plays this week. But I know a lot of people out there are overly concerned about this one, as they should be. He's a great young man and a great player, but I don't think this turns into a lengthy situation.
All right, Isaac Smith.
Yeah, haven't heard a lot on him.
He came back.
I don't know if he did or not.
Oh, I thought he came back on that play where he was lined up in the slot. I may be wrong. Okay.
Tony Mitchell played a lot in his spot down the stretch, and not exactly sure kind of what his situation is, but told yesterday we don't have any season-ending injuries or anything like that. Could he sit this week? I think that's possible, but I know these guys want to play, but
sure,
sometimes the medical staff's got to save people from themselves, and so it doesn't turn into a long-term situation. Sometimes you just got to rest, and unfortunately that's the game of football. But, we just don't have a lot on Isaac. I don't expect Levy to say much today. Once we get into SEC play, he just kind of traditionally said, we'll just start, the availability report will be out on Wednesday. You can kind of find out then. But, I don't think you're going to hear any devastating news.
Okay. All right. So, in other words, you feel like if Isaac Smith doesn't play this weekend at A&M, then they have a week off, and then they go to Florida, I think. You believe that he will play at Florida.
I feel that way today, because we don't have a lot of information about it. But I think too, obviously, Isaac Smith is the best player you have probably on either side of the football.
No question.
Significant development. But Tony Mitchell has shown to be pretty capable too, and that's a guy that was All-American out of high school, went to Bama, and was a little bit banged up when he got here, so he was behind, but. He's running around, throwing himself around, making some plays out there. So, I don't think it's a scenario where it's a huge step down. I mean, there is obviously a step down. Isaac Smith's a special player, but Tony Mitchell is capable of, if the situation unrolls itself like we just talked about, where you go to A&M, have an open date, I think Tony Mitchell can get you through A&M.
Okay. And I think I've got 30 seconds, but I can't believe I'm saying this. I got to give a game ball to Coleman Hutzler.
It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's like this time last year. I mean, that guy's name was absolute mud. And, you look up now and you got a defense making plays and keeping you in ball games and, creating turnovers. And State had struggled extensively last year getting sacks and creating turnovers. And they're starting to do a little more of both.
genespage.com, Steve Robertson. Steve, we'll talk later in the week about A&M. Thank you, man. Dogs 12-point underdog against A&M. Tom Luganville at 9:30.